Welcome to the 79th serving of the Fast Food Podcast. Happy New Year. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining me as always for the first day of 2022 is my international band of misfits in Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, Lukasz, Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology, Lord Shane Smith, Stack.com. Thank you all for joining us. Happy freaking New Year. Hope you had a wonderful 2021 New Year's Eve celebration. You're not too hungover this morning joining us. And enjoy lots of good fun, food, and football today for New Year's Day. You got any questions, comments, queries, quips, smart-ass remarks, post them up in the comments question. We'll answer anything and everything during the next 2 hours or so that we are with you. Hey, guys. Happy New Year. Good to see you all again.
Happy New Year. I do unfortunately have to leave halfway through.
As your lordship would be fit for.
I have we have to be somewhere at 12, I believe.
Mm-hmm. What time is it now where you are?
What time is it? 8:15.
It's almost 8. It's 8 o'clock at your time. 8:12 in New Zealand.
If I get off the podcast around 9, that means I'll probably get off the podcast at like 9:30, and that's the aim.
That works. Well, whenever you got to jump off, man, feel free to. We won't tether you to our craziness here. So yeah, how is news? I was talking with Lukasz before we started the podcast. What is the New Zealand antics like? Is it a big deal for y'all in New Zealand, Shane? Since y'all kind of get it like a day before all of us, so it's already January 2nd where you are. So is New Year's Eve a big thing for y'all?
I guess so. I mean, I was still working because America was still New Year's Eve. So
correct. Yeah.
I didn't really take any time off.
Yeah. Any do y'all do fireworks, or can y'all do fireworks?
Oh yeah, I don't do fireworks, but like people do. Like the city had like a whole display, and I don't know, it was all right. Okay. It's just another year. I stay up until like 1 o'clock in the morning every night anyway, so staying up to like see the new year wasn't any different.
Right. Robbie, how about y'all?
Well, that's the only thing I think that we still do kind of like according to the Russian or like post-Soviet Union tradition. And I think like the Russian-speaking population all over the world, they do the same. Yeah. And that's like probably the biggest night or day, you know, on in that region where that's when you actually exchange gifts. Because mostly the Russians are Orthodox, so they Christmas is actually on January 6th. But they don't exchange gifts like the Catholics do on the 25th. On Christmas, they exchange gifts once, midnight New Year's Eve. That's when they exchange gifts. So it's like a whole big tradition, and it's a big deal, like very, very big deal. But and usually it's like families and friends get together and they exchange gifts, have a big dinner. So it's kind of like a Christmassy thing, but it's non-religious.
Gotcha. Do y'all do fireworks at your place or anything like that? Or what kind of foods do y'all cook?
Yeah, we don't, but there's usually like a huge table and we stay, as late as possible. It's like a little get together, but it's more like cozy. It's not like a big ass party. It's just like people are getting together, friends and family, eat a lot, exchange gifts at midnight, watch some music awards, usually like Russian television. They have a lot of those, and that's it. But it's more like family kind of fun together rather than a big party. Not like, like they do on Times Square where they go and just like jump up and down and watch for the ball to drop. I guess everybody has like their own tradition, I would say.
Yeah. Growing up, we lived on a dead-end street, or a street like that backed into a canal in Louisiana. And we would basically blow up the end of the block with fireworks. So like my dad and the neighbor next to us would get all these fireworks. We'd have a couple of other people. So doing fireworks was always a big thing for us. Watching the ball drop, I never got into that TV and watch it happen. I understand some people do it. Maybe if you're in person, it's kind of a cool thing. But I always like just blowing shit up on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because like on one hand, I come off as somebody who would. I really don't give a shit what people do. Everybody has their own tradition, religion, so I don't judge. But I do come off as I am because I like for anything to make common sense. And I never understood, and again, personally, I never understood the fun about the ball dropping. Like, I lived in close to New York, or in New York for the past a lot of years, since '97. I've never been to Times Square to watch the ball drop, and never wanted to. I just never understood, why would you go there? There is no parking, way too many people, way too crowded. And I was always thinking, like, what if you want to fucking pee or something? Like, what do you do? You know, it just, there is no food, there is no drinks, it's freezing cold, and you're just watching for those like few seconds to watch the ball drop. Like, it never made sense to me. You know, I'm Jewish, so in the Jewish religion, when two people get married, they break the glass. You know, so it symbolizes like, okay, you got married, kiss the bride, and stuff like that. I never understood that either, but at least it's like fun to watch, and like, you know, it symbolizes something, and you get to kiss or something. But the ball drop, I just don't get it. Like, I honestly don't get, not the fun in it, not what it symbolizes, not anything like that. But then again, I always question, you know, like, people, Happy New Year, and, you know, we're going to kill it in 2022. We're going to kill it in 2020. Why didn't you fucking kill it this year? Like, you know, I always... In the moment, like, why are you giving yourself the same goal, New Year resolution? I'm going to get in shape in, you know, starting January 1st. Why the fuck are you a fat fuck, you know, during the year? Like, what?
There we go.
Yeah, but think about it. It's just about common sense. And again, not hating. I mean, if that works for you, no problem. But it just I never understood that.
Yeah. Happy New Year to all of you in the comment section, Mitch, Alex, David, Jiffy. There's a couple other people lurking back there that haven't posted anything yet. But if you guys got anything, make sure, if it seems like it's not getting through, just housekeeping matters, keep posting it. We're not ignoring or avoiding anything. Just sometimes YouTube gets stupid and doesn't display everything. So if you put something up here and I haven't seen it yet, keep re-entering it. But as of right now, we've gotten everything there. Shane, what is the busiest time of the year for the news feed? Like, is typically just the way I'm looking for it is, you know, from like the engineering side of things, or, you know, most normal business is kind of shut down the last 2 years or so. So when we were doing jobs for the oil companies, they took off. So I was getting paid, you know, I was just billing Shell, Chevron, whatever oil company's working for, 40 hours a week to sit and, you know, twiddle my thumbs basically in the office. What about you? Like, I know there's been a few projects, like Apollon's been releasing some stuff steadily through the holiday season, but on your end, how is it typically? And is this kind of a dead spot right now, or do you have just basically littered with a ton of like weight loss supplement stuff?
It's pretty relaxed right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. I mean, it's maybe like 7 to 10 stories a day rather than 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still a lot of shit coming out. Europe doesn't seem to give a fuck when, like, any time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Easter, it's always happening for them. They ain't slowing down. But I think a lot of people. But then at the same time, those companies are probably still working on stuff. It's just maybe their social media department or their hype department just took a week off or something, or they're saving it. So it's pretty quiet, which is good because I don't want to do a lot right now. It's handy.
That is. One thing I was curious about, a story that popped up on Stack 3D yesterday. Let me share my screen and we can get, everybody can see what in the world's going on.
I wonder if it's the one I think it is.
Me too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, what was this about?
TJ's not working with ProSupps anymore.
Yeah, I guess, like, did he contact you? Did ProSupps reach out and say, hey, we've kind of got it this way? Or how did you, get...
No, I've known TJ for, like, 5-6 years.
Everyone knows TJ.
Right.
If you're in the industry, you know TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just hit me up, and I mean, I didn't tell the whole story here. I know, obviously, what's about to happen. Well, I found out what's about to happen.
You missed some details.
So, like, when I wrote this, when he asked me, like, do you think it's worth sharing? I was like, well, obviously it's going to be something worth sharing, or it's going to lead to something. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he wouldn't be teasing or hyping it.
Right.
So I found out eventually after this, I found out where he's going and what's happening. So,
which you cannot leak that yet, I'm assuming.
It's meant to be coming out today, so I was sort of like, It'll be interesting.
So it
Well, I
will be a
think
big
everyone.
announcement whenever it lands, whenever he announces it or makes it public.
Yeah, again, meant to be today, but I don't know. He put together a whole like hype video and everything, and I was like, oh shit. That's why I was kind of like, okay, so maybe it's. And I mean, he took ProSupps from whatever it was to whatever it is now,
Right.
which is no small feat, regardless of whether or not you like the supplements. Like, that's insane. And so you would think wherever he goes, he's gonna have some sort of notable effect.
Yeah.
So I would think, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He did say that he is still like an owner in ProSupps.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just, I'm assuming he's like not the CEO position anymore. He's just,
A partner in it or something like that.
he's just, yeah, staying on as an owner and then this other brand.
Interesting. Any thoughts, guys?
I think that I like what TJ said. What Shane said is that basically it wouldn't be a story if it was not something that he's building up to clearly. And I mean, if the guy would leave or leave the industry or leave the company, I mean, is it breaking news worthy? Yeah, because everybody knows who he is, but it's really not a big deal. People leave and people move on, and so on and so on. I mean, I clearly, and actually Shane and I, we talked about this because I said his style of writing and the way he presents everything is definitely something that is very crafty and very well done. So this story was an obvious, and again, an obvious hint as that something else is coming up. And Shane is pretty good at hiding secrets because, trust me, I know. But he is clearly giving it away without giving it away, which is pretty cool because it builds up to something to anticipate. And what I don't know TJ personally, but obviously I know of him and I've heard of him. And again, this is a clear indication. In my opinion, ProSupps was always a decent brand. Yeah, I'm talking from formulations to products and stuff. It wasn't a hype. I mean, it was something very, very, very solid. It's still solid. And, he obviously achieved a lot with the brand and something that you can respect. So, somebody who made such an impact, clearly, it's worth breaking news as to what's coming next, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I never understood how can somebody be still an owner of the company and move on to another company. That to me was always a little bit. I mean, you can co-own a few brands, but it was always very, very strange when I would see somebody getting fired from his own company or something like that. I never understood that. But in this case, I mean, curiosity is there, and I think it's worth the breaking news, obviously. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Lukasz, how is ProSupps over in Europe as far as do they get much traction with the retailers over there?
You know what? Back in the days, they were huge, especially when they had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde formulas, and they were booming. So it was definitely a great line, and many people were grabbing onto it. Nowadays, I wouldn't say is super popular. I think that's due to the change in their marketing approach as well as formulas and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, due to some circumstances, they changed some members in their team, so they got a bit different, I would say management.
Mm-hmm.
So that also puts a big impact on the entire company and how it evolves and and how it's approached via retailers and distributors.
Yeah.
So but I wouldn't call it that it's growing or it's popular. It's still it's holding to its name, but if they won't change the direction on their make, some better moves, I would say, they won't last long. So that's just my approach.
Yeah, I agree with Lukasz. I think that when they came on the scene, they came guns blazing. I mean, the pre-workouts were so fucking strong for that time. I mean, right now it won't be the same. And I think Shane said at one point, something that used to be badass, it evolved today. It's not quite the same. And I actually watched Nick Trigili's video on Jeremy Buendia, who wants to make a comeback. And if you watch Jeremy Buendia, he looks phenomenal. But the scene has evolved, and he was most likely not even crack top 10 today for somebody who was a Mr. Olympia for 4 times. So things are evolving, and I think ProSupps is definitely not as powerful as they used to be, not even close. I think they lost a little bit of that. I think that maybe they tried to multitask, or they tried to, change the management, or they tried to maybe appeal to different markets. But, they lost that core that they used to have. And I think that we are dealing with it right now, where we are trying to make sure that we remain who we are as Apollon, evolving, but still remaining true to our core. And I think that for any company, it's very, very, very challenging and difficult. They try to go with different athletes. They try to go with different supplements. They try to reformulate. I think that in a process, they kind of lost what made them popular in the first place.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that that's the problem. You cannot have all the slices of the pie. It's not doable. I think you have to do what works for you without stepping in other territories, because you might lose your core following. And I think that that's what happened with them. Nevertheless, they're still known. They still, people know the company. They still have presence. I think they lost that pop that made them what they were back in the day, with Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I would even call it identity.
Yes, correct.
So
yeah.
If you lose that, it's hard to get it back. And in my opinion, they had this cool vibe that everyone loved. And I remember, we talked about this like a few times on other podcasts. When I remember when I met the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it was like such a cool experience, and like everyone was doing pictures with them both and so on, and it was cool, back in the days, and the formulas were also packed, and they were decent, Nowadays you can find their their products basically everywhere. Even if I can recall, Walmart is stocking them. Which is cool for their brand, but at the same time, it just shows, that, they have like a different market now, I would say. So it's not appealing, I would say, for some people, and basically that is why they degraded in some people's eyes,
And I agree with what Lukasz said. So I think it's a very catch-22. If you look at Radcon, right? I mean, nobody can argue with the fact that Radcon is this fucking massive giant. But if you go back to how Radcon started, they started as a badass, hardcore, big guys, big, strong dudes. Pretty good formulas, very, very good formulas indeed. But if you look at the same customers who were with Radcon, because I know they come to Apollon, even though we have Apollon Nutrition, we never discriminated, or we never talk shit or to our members that would wear Radcon hoodies. And God knows we had half of the gym would walk in Radcon hoodies because they would get them for free. So it was never a problem. But the same people who would walk into Apollon today that used Radcon would say when Radcon started, their pre-workout was badass, their products were badass, and now it's shit. I think that, companies sometimes they start one way and then they lose that core and they try and kind of hit the mass market like with Walmart and Costco and whatnot. They still make, from a business perspective, they make shitload of money. They still are, it's like some people, the hardcore crowd, they would say, Optimum Nutrition protein is shit. depends how you look at it. But in terms of business, they're doing phenomenal business. They're doing great. You know, they everywhere. They competitively priced and whatnot. So this argument can go on and on and on. Which product is good? Which brand is shit? But Lukasz is right 100%. As if we're taking the business, aside, the business side aside, ProSupps has lost without a doubt. I would go and say majority of the original followers, of the original guys who used to buy their products, because back in the day when they released, which was like 8-10 years ago, I think ProSupps came on the scene, they were among the very top hardcore brand without a doubt. Jekyll and Hyde were probably at every gym. Now the same crowd they could have evolved. They could have been competitive with Assassin and Crack and all those more powerful stuff. But they decided to take a step back and just target the mainstream market and compete probably with the likes of Cellucor and Muscle Tech, and that's the route I think that they went with. And but as a result, when you're doing that, you will lose the other followers, the ones who made you popular in the first place. So I think that you lose your identity by trying and to basically, the Russians call it sit with one butt on both chairs. It's not always very, very possible and doable, and you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think. I think ProSupps probably doesn't, like you said, the audience is a bit different, but I'm taking a wild guess and saying that they're doing pretty fine. Like they may seem like they faded in us. But
so does Redcon.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, they faded a bit. They just went mainstream. And when you try and target a mainstream audience, you can't make an Apollon pre-workout. No,
and that's what I said.
No major retailer would sell. Like they have their rules on what ingredients you can use. So if you want to try and fit there, same with Costco, I imagine, same with Walmart, I imagine. And this is a price point too, from what I remember. Like you have to be at a certain price. You have to have certain ingredients. And then if you want to save money on international, you want to produce a formula that works for everyone.
Oh, 100%.
When you do this stuff, I guess, to make more money, it's I call it becoming like a mainstream brand. It's like kind of like what Redcon 1 did. Like you have to make some sacrifices to, get into that area, get into that audience. Yep. And I guess that is going to make you a fuckload more money than if you were to try and make, I guess, like a pre-workout that competes with crack. I think some of these guys probably wouldn't give two shits, but they went that route to get the money versus, I guess, or get the growth and expansion versus, I guess, like you said, stay true, not stay true, but keep on that hardcore sports nutrition audience.
And which is fine.
It's a decision you make.
Which is fine, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. That's what I meant from the start. It's like you're taking one route, and basically, you win some, you lose some. If you're gonna choose to go mainstream, you need to take the risk, and you need to be aware of the fact that you will lose a lot of people, due to the fact. But on the other hand, you will gain some other crowd.
You'll gain a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but there is a little bit. You're not guaranteed to gain a lot. You're not guaranteed to succeed. So you pick and choose. And like I said, yes, you can lose your original core and you can lose your original followers, but you can gain a lot more. And that's what I said. Redcon today is a lot bigger than Redcon was in 2015. But Redcon today more than likely lost the 2015 crowd, most of it at least, which is fine. It's called collateral damage, which is absolutely fine. But then again, most companies, if you ask them, what do you want? You want to be the best badass brand, or you want to make the most money? Most companies, because it is a business, will probably choose the second option. But then you have somebody like, for example, Nutrix. Nutrix also started with very, very solid, I would say, formulas and solid approach, but they decided to transition and try to be Cellucor and try to be Redcon and try to be maybe even ProSupps to an extent, but they failed. I mean,
they went a bit back and forth, I think.
I think that
because they had Hemo Rage. Hemo Rage was
they tried to sit with one
blend,
button.
wasn't it?
Yeah, they try to sit with one butt on both chairs, and it doesn't, it doesn't work out that way. So sometimes you lose. So you just have to make a decision which way you want to go. So ProSupps, without a doubt, probably made more money than originally. In fact, I know they did because I'm pretty good friends with Jason Arntz, and he used to work for them as a sales, manager for Northeast, and they made a lot of money. I think in a third or fourth year, where they were already slightly more mainstream than they were originally. So they still succeeded. They just like I said, you lose in the process something because you cannot be everywhere. You have to make sure. Like I'm pretty sure Cellucor C4 doesn't give a shit about Apollon or any of those hardcore, better, stronger, more powerful brands because they making an absolute killing. They absolutely making, they targeting today market, which is great, And Redcon, I saw Garage Gym Junkie just recently posted that he's never going to use Redcon, and the product is not good and whatnot. So those, and no disrespect, those 2.5 followers, so they're not going to use Total War, which is fine. But the millions and millions of people around the world will still use it. So Aaron can be in jail, but he's still gonna fucking make shit ton of money and be happy after all because the company is profitable and successful.
Yeah. All right. Happy New Year. Happy 2022 to the one and only game-changing, thought-leading titan of industry podcast. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Devin and Zandandito. Thank you guys for chiming in. Robbie pretty much summed up everybody's New Year's resolutions. Stop hoping to make the next year better and just start doing your shit now. Robbie's. Supps on deck. So fitness informant named Ghost Brand of the Year, to which Devin responds, I'd rather take advice from Jeffrey Epstein on staying alive in jail versus another anything supplement related to FI. There we go. You guys have any thoughts? You want to say anything?
This is so, I think, recycled already and so discussed. I mean,
remember what I wrote you?
Yeah, it's I personally, with Lukasz and I talked about it. Listen, should we criticize and talk shit? What's the point? Everybody, even Mitch, who asked the question, he knows the answer to it. We all know the answer to it. I'm going to actually spin it from a different perspective. We all know why it happened. We know the reason. We know what's behind it. We know everything. So what's the point? However, from my personal opinion, is Ghost really is one of the top brands in my opinion. Whether you like Dan, whether you don't, whether you like the brand, whether you don't like the brand. For me, I mean, actually, Ghost is among my preferred brands. Why? Because everything that they release, or most of the things that they release, actually will help with performance. They actually do put good ingredients. The dosing is always pretty cool. I don't think that, again, this is from personal, and I'm trying not to be biased, but I think that they've done better last year and deserved it wholeheartedly last year. I'm not talking about Fitness Informant. I'm talking in general. They deserved last year to be the best brand of the year, in my opinion. This year, I don't think that they did. I don't think even close. But they did have a few good releases, nevertheless. Everything that they released, clearly, I think is decent. This we did not like. We discussed it. They actually, listened not only to us, but they listened to the audience and they made it better. You have to respect that. They pump product is among the best one on the market. It delivers what it's supposed to deliver. They did collaboration with Oreo. Yes, a lot of people said that it doesn't taste like Oreo. I'm one of them. Doesn't matter. They went out and they obviously put an effort into it. The Space Jam, not my personal cup of tea, but it is a collaboration that they definitely went out there and they did something, and the effort is there. I'm against gimmicky and bullshit supplements that don't work and, try to suck people's money and make claims that are not backed up by science or anything like that. Ghost is definitely not one of them. I'd be lying if I said they are, because they're not. among my favorite ones. So what I'm getting at is that my only wish, and it's a wishful thing, something Danielle Pierce sent me last night about these awards being a complete bullshit, unnecessary, and they don't do much for the brand. And he explained it to me very, very well, because he said, if you have to work, meaning pay or campaign or whatever, to get an award, but mainly pay, of course, then it's not worth it. You have to win it. He says, if you win it and you deserve it, and it comes, unbiased and it comes as an actual award, then it's so much more satisfying, and it's so much more, prestigious for both the person who receives it and for person who gives it. Because the person who awards you the award, if he is honest, or the channel, then people respect it. Everybody knows corruption, and everybody knows when something is not deserved. So you actually, because whatever Fitness Informant does, or Price Paul or whatnot, people know. People know, and they talk behind the scenes, and they discuss it, and they gossip, and they make fun, and they know what's up. So it kind of loses the credibility. But for me personally, if I was Dan or I was Ghost, to me, number one, it doesn't make Ghost more popular. Number two, I'm pretty sure it doesn't add in terms of revenue, because I talk to industry insiders, to fans, to customers. I talk a lot to people because I want to get their perspective, and it's also part of my research, my personal research. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody. So it doesn't give you the prestige. I think that companies should stop doing what they're doing in order to get these fake awards, because you already have a great product. Ghost is a good brand. They make good products. They do good collaborations. They have very good following. They have respect from people in the industry that they actually deserve. They deserve it. You can't take it away from them. But I think that this one thing, not from those guys who are sucking Ghost dick and stuff like that, and Fitness Informant groupies and people that just blind to what's going on, but from real people within the industry, from a real customer, from a real consumer, from a retailer. I got a message from a retail owner who goes like, "This is a fucking joke. It's ridiculous." But if it didn't happen, I think that there's so much more respect you can gain, and you don't need to waste your money on crap, that everybody knows what's up. I think that Ghost is a great brand. In my personal opinion, they are one of the top brands in the last couple of years. And they don't need, I think this casts kind of like a dark shadow, not only in the industry, but also the brand. Because again, to people that know, and there are a lot of them, it's pretty obvious. But nevertheless, great brand.
John, a little late. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, John. Brooke, dropping in to say hi. Happy New Year, John. Happy New Year's, Brooke. Ben, starting 2022 with a Final Scoop podcast.
Thank you, Ben.
Sean, what's going on, Grandpa? Redcon has faded tremendously. Haven't seen any buy one, get 6 free sales as of late.
I disagree on faded. I do agree that I also don't see a lot of those sales like I used to.
They do them.
Yeah. David Evans.
They do a lot of them.
But not as much. I mean, I remember opening...
No. They do them more. I don't understand how... I mean, they don't... You have to understand, I don't think they put them out on social media anymore because they don't need them to reach new customers.
Just fading, that's all.
Yeah.
Maybe through emails.
I think
but that's how it goes.
I've seen them do them like BOGO for 2 hours on their email list.
Maybe email.
Because the email list is probably the size of, I don't know, 10 brands' Instagram profiles. And they just need to encourage their customers that have already tried them to try them again or have them again. Yeah. They don't need to put it on social media.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe they don't put it on social media not to piss off the retailers or their partners or whatever. So maybe that's the case. But I do agree. I think what Sean implies is the social media, though, that it doesn't see it as much. Yeah, on social media,
they don't
it's
blast
not.
them on there.
But maybe email list. Maybe they're doing it pretty aggressively. I don't know.
David, TJ to AP Regimen isn't the owner of that brand a former ProSupps guy? Well, Ike was one of the guys that used to be at ProSupps, then he went to Rise, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Ike Icolina founded ProSupps with TJ, and then he went off and did Rise. Is that where Ike is now at AP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, AP Sports, yeah.
Maybe. That could make sense. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why
Lucas knows.
I don't know why they broke off one way to go to next, or maybe they're coming.
Lucas knows, and it's not AP.
We shall see.
Apparently, Alex knows as well. He messaged me just before.
Check the private chat.
Okay. Question for Robbie: does Apollon Gym see a spike in attendance during January, or is your clientele consistent all year long?
You know what? The second part was true. Right now it's all over the place, but yeah, we used to have like consistency throughout the year. Because Apollon is a different species. January we would not see like a lot of spike. It was just another month, so it was pretty consistent. I would say when the contest season starts, that's when we get a little bit more spike, but it was pretty consistent. However, we're with a pandemic right now. It's so unpredictable because, number one, a lot of people are home. Number two, some people are afraid to go to the gym. Number three, some people bought equipment and they're training at home. And it's very, very inconsistent. It's actually funny because I think 2 days ago, I walked into Apollon at, I think it was 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. is the time where typically it would be dead. Why? Because you have the early morning people like 5, 6 a.m. And it's packed until about 8. And then usually it's busy again, somewhat busy during lunchtime where people go on lunch break and they go to the gym, and then the evening time. So 11 a.m. would be quiet, very quiet, like 1, 2 people in the gym. I walk in and it's fucking packed, ridiculously packed. And it was packed for a while, and then around lunchtime, maybe 12:01, there was absolutely nobody. They came together at the same time. They left together at the same time. The gym was completely like a ghost town. So 10 minutes later, when it was a ghost town, a friend of mine walks in and he goes to me, "Where the fuck is everybody? The gym is dead." I was like, "You should have been here 15 minutes ago." That's how unpredictable it is. So, sometimes you get those calls. Can you tell me what time the gym is busy? Now, you just can't. It's completely different. And especially, in this area, tri-state area, there is a lot of new cases on a daily basis. So a lot of people are sick. Most people that I know are sick. Even the mall around Christmas area, like the mall not far from us, you wouldn't be able to find parking. It's just Christmas time, there is no parking at the mall. Around Christmas time, shitload of parking, nobody's there. So I don't think it's just the gym. I think it's any business right now. It's affected, so you don't know when it's going to be busy. And it's very unpredictable.
Works. Picked up some Pre-RX by Proccor on sale. Anything you would change about that formula?
These guys, Proccor is a pretty underrated brand. But most of this stuff is pretty solid.
Yeah.
American brand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people that listen to this on audio version, I'll do a quick rundown of the ingredients, and then we can see what you guys think if you tweak anything. 6,000 milligrams of L-citrulline, 3,200 milligrams beta-alanine, 3,000 milligrams of Creapure micronized German creatine, 3,000 milligrams of betaine nitrate, 2,000 milligrams of L-taurine, 1,500 milligrams glycerpump, 750 milligrams nitrosogene, 1,000 milligrams tyrosine, 575 milligrams choline bitartrate, 250 milligrams cafe elatus, natural caffeine from coffee beans, 78.5 milligrams L-theanine, 75 milligrams theobromine, 62.5 milligrams methylliberine, as dynamine 40%, yielding 25 milligrams of active methylliberine, 52.5 milligrams dicaffeine malate, 50 milligrams synephrine, 25 milligrams hordenine, 200 micrograms huperzine, and 6 milligrams bioperin. All right, gents, any thoughts?
I actually like the formula a lot. Especially the performance part is, I think, very, very solid. Yeah, you could argue maybe for nitrogen a little bit, but then again, the the synergy in this, because you have so many like good ingredients and pretty highly dosed. I think it's very good. And obviously my thoughts on theanine, even though over here it's actually very, very little, which is nice to see. I don't know. Dynamine is a little bit on the lower side than I would like to see. But other than that, to be honest with you, I'm just nitpicking. It's a great formula.
Lukasz?
I really like it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the added beta nitrate, which is probably one of my favorites when it comes to like nitrates. And I also like that they bump up the taurine to like 2 grams, which is pretty cool.
Isn't it 1 gram? Oh, 2 gram. 2 gram. Yeah, great.
That's pretty cool. Just because the nitrogen is like below 1 gram doesn't mean it won't work, because you have like loads of citrulline, so it will like work synergistically with betaine. Plus, with glycer pump, I think that the pumps will be nasty.
Yeah.
And the taurine will also help out with the hydration and so on. And I also, what I like is that they didn't add a lot of theanine, as you said, Robbie. And it's cool to see, because nowadays like brands are putting like 100 and above, as far as.
Yeah, I saw some brand putting 400. I was shocked.
Yeah, that just pisses me off, and as TJ used to say, that ingredient shouldn't be added to like pre-workouts, should be in sleep formulas in most cases. But in these dosages, it will give you this like smooth, clean energy, throughout your workout. So that's cool. Infinergy and the natural caffeine, really like it also. So I have no complaints. I really like it. Maybe the only nitpicking that I would like say is the choline, but that's basically it.
Yeah, it's minor.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm just like nitpicking, as I said. So in overall.
Yeah, on focus it could be a little bit better, but that's like nitpick. And I've never seen theanine this low, so which is very, very impressive. I mean, I'd rather not see it at all, but at 78, I'm bitching about it is stupid.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on it, Shane?
Oh, I mean, like I said, this formula's been around for a while. I haven't actually heard from Proccor or seen an update from Proccor for quite some time. I don't think. Like, they've kind of gone silent, sort of, for the past. They had good runs where they were dropping new products, reformulating, hitting new categories. And the thing is their supplements, all of them are pretty as well dosed as this, as well put together. And they do, when it comes to like special occasions, these products get some real fat discounts. Like,
yeah, I actually wanted to ask,
discounts.
What is the price point on this?
$45 for 20 servings, so a little over $2.
You see them do some like 40% sales.
Yeah, this is pretty fair price.
That'll come down to sub 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, I like the formula overall. I mean, like the guy said, it's really well dosed. You could have some minor nitpick things here, like the extra 0.5 milligram of theanine is kind of weird. Like, maybe they've got it titrated after the specific ratio between that and the caffeine yield. Dynamine, I'd like to see at maybe that 50 milligram threshold, because that's kind of the lowest studied dose in combination with caffeine. I don't think theanine really belongs in the pre-workout. It's in Ninja's pre-workout and a couple of other places. I don't like it in that application.
Is there a niacin in this?
Yes, there is 20 milligrams of niacin. So you're going to get some...
Because I remember I actually bought this like years ago when it came out. But I took it and the niacin just lit me up, like...
Yeah.
And I never went back to it. And I was like, it says 20 milligrams. I don't know. I couldn't quite understand. But before I never went back to it again, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't think you wasted your money at all getting this, Devin. Like, if you got this on sale, man, you did a really
they do
good job on that.
Some sales.
I might get rid of the glycer pump, and if I was tweaking the formula for another run, get rid of the glycer pump and put that into some more tyrosine or choline, because you've already got plenty of self-saturating agents with the betaine and the taurine there. But I mean, overall, this is a very, very solid pre-workout. So
I would add some Himalayan pink salt as well as potassium. That would be awesome.
yeah, there is no sodium in here. That might be. There's no electrolytes. That might be a weak spot in it. That's a good point, Lucas.
Yeah, so they do. They have done buy one get one freeze before.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid formula. It's a good product, and just like you said, nitpicking. But then again, we can nitpick on anything pretty
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Yeah, we got to consider what's their budget that they want to keep
Yeah,
their.
no, it's like one of those products that like it's good. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's very, very solid. Somebody gave me a
this is
tub of
another
that, I
beast.
wouldn't have a problem with it. Interesting. Ultra octane.
Nice one.
They're stem free.
Guys.
They're stem free.
They got our seal of approval. Boom.
There we go. Thoughts on the new Glaxon Anomaly and being a muscle builder / anti-catabolic agent? Let me.
I did a full month of this.
You already did?
Yeah, they gave it to me in November.
Did you stack it with the flight?
No, because I didn't want to use it with flight because from my understanding, like I know there's different ingredients, different mechanisms.
Yeah.
But I suspected because they suggest you take it at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I suspected the result or effect would be similar to how flight, because flight for me is like a recovery beast.
Yeah.
And I suspected Anomaly might be the same. So I didn't want to like take them together and get confused. Like if I had a test booster maybe, but I thought this would be very similar. And it is. It's much the same as flight. Like just not sore, re-energized, refreshed. It's hard to say like I'm not as sore as I thought I would be. That's why I take it for a month. It just at no day was I like as tired or lethargic or fatigued as I don't know I would in the other 11 months out of the year. It noticeably makes your recovery better.
You think it
This
would
one
be
does?
wiser to take it alone or stack it with flight?
I mean, if you're like me and you're taking it to just see how it works, but fuck that. If I have it again, I'm buying both.
Oh.
I would. I mean, I know that 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2, but
Yeah, man.
if it could equal 1.5, I'd still do it. It's that AI ingredient, isn't it? That they use.
That's what I'm trying to understand. What the hell does it mean by it's AI?
Oh, so apparently
What does that
they. I don't know if you talked to the Gorilla Chemist, but I remember when he told me he used to have like a database back at school where you could sort of, say sort of compounds or something that you're looking for and certain molecules, and you could search and they would find things like in that realm for you.
Yeah.
So, from my understanding, artificial intelligence, it would design like a peptide or something. I don't really know. It would design something that could help muscle recovery,
Yeah.
or muscle growth, and it would design it based on, I guess, what's available. And it basically ran through from my understanding, it ran through just databases to match or to find something and that was what it found. So I guess it was kind of more like a search algorithm,
Fascinating.
and that's how it came up with it. It's kind of like there was that AI protein bar, and they were like, oh, it was AI designed, but what happened was that they basically took in feedback from people, and then they used like an algorithm or artificial intelligence to determine the right base, like the right flavor, texture based on the feedback.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they got a robot to make it. They used like an algorithm to go the
All the
feedback and
studies
then be
and
like,
literature and everything.
Make a perfect
and just be
product
like-
based on people's
Yeah.
feedback.
it's kind of like an algorithm. Like
Yeah.
you type in big titties into Google, it's gonna find you the best
Do you like
image.
ass or tits?
Yeah, it's gonna find you what it thinks is best. It's not gonna just be like every picture big titties. It's gonna say this is the best one, guys. Look at
Yeah.
this.
Black
Strange
one,
example,
Asian
but
one. Caucasian.
You get my
choose.
point.
Yeah, man.
I know
To
that
dig
what
into
they did
this
here
ingredient.
was extremely complex. I mean, it's one thing using like a AI and algorithm to like sort of base off feedback to go and find something that no one's ever used before. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so far they have cell culture studies on this. We don't have any human data on it, at least not yet.
Hey man, Terminator found this thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's pretty cool. That
It's definitely more than the like the
I mean, it's
AI
better than
gimmick.
HMB. It's something cool, something new. We're not just seeing another HMB formula, so that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. I'd love to
Like I
see
said,
some human studies.
there's definitely
on it.
something to it outside of that artificial intelligence thing. Like it is,
Yeah.
it definitely works.
And this GG Gold, I'm not familiar with either of these two ingredients yet. Just goes
They
to
said
show
that Peptide Strong. This was the first thing to use it, I think.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't. But GG Gold they didn't. So I'm assuming maybe that one's been around. They find some of these things sometimes, and I'm like, I never fucking heard of these.
Why isn't my keyboard?
But what are you typing?
There we go. GG
Yeah,
Gold.
see, I had a feeling other people had used it.
Geraniol is an endogenous nutrient in our body that declines as we age. It's essential for protein synthesis, the production of testosterone, progesterone, CoQ10, and MK4. May also help with the management of sarcopenia. See, I wonder if this thing is almost going to be... I don't know if I'd tout this as a muscle builder. It's more of like I would use this maybe on a hard cut or a diet if you're somebody that's laid up with an injury for a while or an older population.
They did say it's like an anti-catabolic, but I mean it's not like you can have an anti-catabolic category.
Right.
I guess muscle growth.
Yeah.
I would
This
go
is
with
kinda-
like anti-inflammatory like route, and like
Yeah.
it's more like into as Shane mentioned earlier, it's like recovery, those kind of things, but recovery on with a big R,
I would sort of put it in the muscle builder category because I guess if you put it in recovery, you might you kind of rope it in with like an amino
Yeah,
or a
but when you
post-workout.
recover, your muscles are growing, so that's basically.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of, yeah. I guess it's if you're gonna
You
put
can
it in
look
a
at-
category,
Yeah.
it's got to land there. But this in flight, I feel like I would be interested to use the two just because I don't know if they're gonna like cancel each other out or maybe like it'd be an expensive pair. I
Yeah,
think,
that's why I'm interested in, because I used flights and I was really surprised with the effectiveness of the product.
It's weird, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
It's
it's freaking
I like-
weird.
Thinking
Did you
outside
have-
the box. I like it.
You had this crazy dreams
nah.
when you
dude.
were on it.
I gotta take some good sleep aid to have some crazy dreams.
Bro, when I was on that flight, my dreams were like it's crazy. Seriously.
You didn't walk through the pawn shops. You went in.
No, I went
shopped.
all out. I went all out,
You
I
were.
left all
you
my money
owned
there.
the pawn shop.
Bro, I left all my money there.
You know what? I looked at this, and you know what Robert said about the human data. I mean, the thing is like Shane said something about muscle building. Muscle building is something that everybody goes to the gym. They want to build muscle. We know that protein is building muscles. We know that creatine is building muscles. Those things are kind of proven. I mean, of course, everything also comes down to genetics, how far we can push our body if it's naturally. And, and there is obviously the anabolic aspect as well in testosterone. Muscle building also has to do a lot with testosterone. So my point is that number one, I always love innovation and I love risk taking and I love, research, and, Robert is very, very good at that. But the thing is like, to classify this as a muscle builder, why would you do that? How is it building muscle? People on anabolic steroids with super, super regimen when it comes to diet, eating properly, training properly, and everything else. I remember talking to Dorian Yates. He said in a whole year, to build a solid 5 to 10 pounds of muscles is very, very, very challenging. And that is considering you're taking into effect anabolic steroids, training hard consistently, recovering. I mean, most of us even sitting here, I'm the only one, I believe, who is taking or took steroids, and I'm on testosterone replacement and whatnot. Even on testosterone replacement, an actual testosterone replacement, I see very, very little difference in gaining actual muscles. Why? Because, age, I'm not in my 20s anymore, and it's just not enough to build muscle. Will this make a substantial where a person after a month or 2 months or 3 months period will say, due to taking this product, I actually increased muscle mass? Will you be able to tell that due to this product, you increase muscle mass? You won't. I guarantee you that. 100%. Will it justify the price point? It won't. You will not build muscle on this thing to an extent where you're going to be able to say, by adding this supplement, I just put on 2 to 3 pounds of muscles in certain period of time. It's impossible. Shane only used it for a month. It's impossible to build muscle or to feel that you build muscle visually or physically in that period of time. This is just straight talk. This is honesty. We know how citrulline works. It's proven. We know how nitrogen works. It's proven. We know that if we take a certain amount of caffeine, it will kick us into the next gear in terms of energy. We know how certain things work. This is anecdotal. This is possible. This is like Robert said, and I liked it recently. He said, synergy might work, but we just don't know. And I really respect what Robert said about it, because certain compounds, I believe, Robert, when we had the discussion where you said like maybe instead of 2,000 milligram of tyrosine, but 500 milligram combined with like maybe not a full 600 milligram of alpha GPC, but 300, it might give us the results. Now, the question is, will it or not? We literally don't know. And you were very, very respectful by saying, I don't know, but it's possible. It's there. So the question is, do you take it's possible, I'll take a risk, meaning for a consumer, I'll spend the hard-earned money to take a risk and see if it's going to work, or will I go to something that 100% will work because I'm spending my hard-earned money? And that's when I said about Ghost. Everything that they release, or most of the things that they release, actually proven to work. As long as it's done correctly and synergistically and the correct dosages that are proven to work. That is very, very important to say. Is it impressive? I like the label. I like the potential. I like the risk-taking. I like the research. But will it work? Yesterday I talked to a friend of mine that owns a supplement store, and I was like, I want to come up with egg protein, more flavors. And I remember talking to you, Robert, about it, and you gave me advice. Why did I do it? Because I want to see what the consumer wants. Mm-hmm. I want to see what the consumer will actually be like, okay, you know what, here's my $50. I want to buy it. We know the protein is going to work, but will they like the flavor? And that's the reason why I picked your brain, because I'm trying to make sure, A, I'm not wasting my money. B, I'm delivering what actually works and what actually is guaranteed to give a certain benefit. In this particular case, protein will work, but we only care about the flavor and the taste at this point because we're trying to cater to them. I have a friend of mine who stopped by and said that he tried C-bomb protein, and he goes to me, I tried the vanilla and it's disgusting. He says, it's absolutely disgusting. He goes, I hated it. My brother hated it. I gave it to my mother. My mother hated it. He says, and I threw it away. So yesterday I asked, I'm not going to say who it is, but I asked one of the retailers. Yeah. I was like, out of curiosity, because I want to know. I want to do research. Is C-bomb vanilla, is it bad? He goes to me, bro, it's very bad. He goes, it's not good. He says, the quality is there because it's isolate. He says, so it's 100% there. Yeah. He says, it has C-bomb on it. So, that's good marketing because he's C-bomb. He has millions of followers. He says, but it didn't give a shit about flavoring it. It doesn't come from me. And the reason why I don't want to say who it is because it's unnecessary. I'm just telling you the facts. This is the research. This is how things are done. We're spending as brands a lot of money on certain supplements. Certain supplements, the supplement companies spending money on a pure junk that doesn't work, but they're doing it for the sake of making business. They know that they have a point where they're going to be able to sell the product, and that is fine. But when certain claims are made, they have to be, they don't have to be made, but the thing is like, wouldn't you rather, some of us, like Robert, you get some stuff sent for free, right? And that's okay, because you work within the industry and people want you to try certain things, whether it's for flavor or for the effects, right? So some of us getting stuff for free, but the consumer doesn't get stuff for free. And if when you go to a store and you ask a retailer, what does the consumer want to buy? They want to buy pre-workout. Why? Because they feel it. They want to buy protein. Why? Because it's protein. No explanation needed. They want to buy creatine for the same reason that's protein. They want to buy something like EAs. Again, no explanation needed. They want to buy multivitamin. They want to buy fish oil. They want to buy products that work. Now, when you put on a shelf something that might work, and you, Robert, snuck in the word HMB, which is perfect, because it was suspected in some anecdotal reports back in the day that it might work. The price tag on it was through the fucking roof. It was super, super expensive. People were buying it based on anecdotal reports. But now we know when there is actually a human research, when there is actually human data, we know. We don't suspect. We don't say maybe. It was a muscle builder. It was like fucking the best thing since steroids, But now we know. We have a proof that it doesn't work. And the truth is, in Eastern Europe and somewhat, they still, I know, buy that ingredient, just like they buy glutamine a lot and stuff like that. But at this point, we do know that it doesn't work. So my point is that I'd rather see people spending money on something that is proven to work. If something is an anecdotal report, let's do human studies. And I know what you're going to say. It costs a lot of money, 100%. But I'd rather sell to people products that are 100% guaranteed that they will work, that they need it, and there is a benefit from it. Not something with, it's experimental, it's cool, it might work, there is unproven data. If you look at some of the, I'm not talking about Glaxon right now, I'm talking about shitload of products on the market that say muscle building. It's going to put on tons of muscle on you. 99% of them are not going to do shit. They're not going to do shit, but they're using these things. Anti-estrogen. Fucking guys go to a doctor and they're using anti-estrogen product and the estrogen is still through the roof. But he went and he bought anti-estrogen products, typically that are in a retail store. They've ranged from like as low as $30, $40 to as high as over $100. Those are the prices.
Yeah.
If you go to a doctor and you get an actual anti-estrogen prescription, well, Arimidex, which is proven to work, it will definitely block your estrogen or it will lower it. It's $10. It's $10. That's all it is. It's $10 for a month's supply. So, why do we say muscle builder on certain products that we don't know? We literally do not know. Why do we say, recovery? Oh, it might work for me. Well, it might be a placebo effect too. But the truth is, you don't know. What you do know is take 8 grams of citrulline or 6, and even like you said, Robert, 3-4 grams that is proven to work. Those were your words. You said citrulline, what, 3 grams to 10 or 12?
2.4. There was a study in cyclists that did 2.4 grams of citrulline, and it worked.
And so you know what? And I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. I don't have a problem with that because I used to say, a 3-4 grams of citrulline is underdosed. It's not. I was wrong. Why was I wrong? Because you just stated it's proven that 2.4 did work.
Yeah, there's one
maybe
study
on the lower side, but it does work.
Yeah, most of the studies are on the upper end of the spectrum, and I would be inclined to believe that if there's a dose-dependent response to a certain extent, so that 10 grams is that bottleneck spot or that plateau where you go above and beyond that. Unless you're some huge motherfucker, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Like average-sized guys like us, you go above 10 grams, you're not going to get orders of magnitude greater nitric oxide production and blood flow. Now, do I think if they compared something like 2.4 grams to 6 grams, would there be a difference? I think probably so, yeah. But the lowest dose where they've seen benefit is 2.4 grams. Now, if I'm putting together a product, the lowest I'm probably going to go is 4 grams. and then put some other stuff in there. But just, that's one ingredient there.
But me coming and accusing you of saying if you put a product with 4 grams of citrulline, if I came right now and I said, Robert, you know what, my product has 6 or 7 or 8, your product is underdosed, I would be wrong, and you would be able to fucking corner me with actual facts, proven facts that I was wrong. I just accused you of underdosing product that you in fact didn't. You just put a lower dose than I did, but you didn't underdose the product. And again, why? Not because you're right or I'm right. It's because the science backs it up.
Yeah, and I think one thing with some of the kind of these niche categories like the anti-aging stuff, the muscle recovery, life extension, those kind of things, I think part of it is that supplements, for some people, it's a hobby. So they like going and spending, assuming they have the funds to kind of go and play with it. This is their thing. So some people spend their money on video games. Some people spend it on golf. Some people like to just spend it on supplements. Like, hey, here's a habit, or a hobby I have mine that's not going to completely break the bank. It's not, as deleterious to your body or financial or mental health. More of the time is something like drinking or gambling or something, those kind of things. So is there kind of like what Shane always says, is there a chance that it could make me 1% better in some other aspect of life? Sure. And there's a niche of the consumer base that is fine with that. And so if those companies do that, I think where it gets, and this isn't in reference to Glaxon, but it's kind of those companies that are putting out products and calling it a muscle builder, and you're pixie dusting these ingredients
100%.
That are going after the new fitness enthusiast that's just getting in the gym and they think, I'm going to take this, I'm going to look like Dorian Yates. And that's where it gets into
you know what? But Robert, just like a movie critic who is watching movies for free, in our cases, even Shane's, and this is not negativity or anything like that, Shane, TJ, myself, not really. You, for example, you can definitely fall into that category. You getting supplements for free. Now, I'm not saying all the time, but you get sent out products for free.
Yeah.
There are some supplements that are you actually buying on a regular basis. You're buying on a regular basis because not everything is sent out to you for free. Yeah. So my point is do you see yourself those research, possibly, maybe anecdotal supplements, do you see yourself as a person buying them on a regular basis, on a monthly basis for a maybe effect because you got a bottle for free or 2 bottles for free? Now you're fucking buying it. No, I guarantee you 100, no, because you have. No, you haven't.
I do.
You're not gonna buy Anomaly. You're not gonna buy Anomaly on a monthly basis. I'm willing to put my fucking house on it. Why? Because it's a lie.
I bought flight.
It's a lie. It's a lie. You're not gonna buy. No, you're not gonna buy. You're not gonna buy a not proven product. That is, you're gonna be taking money away from your family. That it doesn't work, or it's not proven to work.
Hold on. I feel like we're getting. I feel like we're getting a bit lost here.
No, hold on a second. Let me finish. You're not going to buy a product that is not guaranteed to provide you with benefit, but yet Robert is buying. Do you buy Berberine on a monthly basis, Robert?
Do I Berberine on a monthly basis?
I mean, you're using it on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I use it in probably 2 or 3 weeks, but before that, or something like
you also, I know that you're buying from, what is that company, NutriCost, right? They're not supplying you products for free. So you're buying from NutriCost certain products on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, depends how you budget it. Yep. That's in your budget for your health to support your, whatever goals you have, health-wise or athletic-wise. You're buying and you're using those products. You're using those products on a monthly basis, and it's in your budget, same as you would buy, I don't know, rice or potatoes. But because bourbon, because they are guaranteed to work, because you know what they do, because there is data behind it. And you know what? We're not even going to argue about personally what we do, but do you see a person that has a salary, that has a monthly budget, spending money on products that might work? If we're talking about anti-aging, what are the 2 anti-aging, actually 3 anti-aging products on the market that actually proven to work? One of them is questionable. 2 of them are guaranteed. That is human growth hormone, which is proven as an anti-aging supplement or medication or whatever you want to call it. It's actually proven to work. The other one is testosterone, because as we age, testosterone levels are definitely dropping. So those 2. The third one that people are still arguing, if you do the research, is actually metformin. Yep. Metformin is, there's still argument. There is no proven 100% data on it. And, as we talked about it, you're using berberine instead. because it's proven to work just as good and whatnot. So those two, either you're going to get them from a pharmacy and your insurance is going to cover it, or if you have a lot of money, like some of the movie stars and whatnot, you're going to buy it on a monthly basis because it's proven to work. So you're willing, if you have the budget, you're willing to spend that money in order, because you know it's guaranteed to work. We've seen the effects of it. We know the data is there. Yesterday I saw the same Russian singer that I sent you guys photo of, that she's in her 70s, that her skin looks fucking flawless. I mean, she looks like she's in her 40s. She's just, clearly she did, surgery and whatnot. She has the money for it. She has the money to do the best plastic surgery or whatever, and she looks like she is 30 or 40 years younger. But if you go to any cosmetic store, or, if you ask Ben, who's been using Glow apparently, that's going to help you with your skin. You can spend monthly, but it's anecdotal. It's not proven to work. It's not guaranteed. Yet you're going to be spending so much money. Why did Glow fail? Of all the Ghost products, it did fail. It's not this. It doesn't sell the same as Legend. It doesn't sell the same as this. It doesn't sell the same as Protein. Why did it fail? Because it doesn't fucking work. Because it's maybe, and it's anecdotal, and there is research that is not proven, and it didn't help Ben, who was fucking promoting it heavily. In fact, maybe even made it worse. Those are the things that either proven or not proven. Is it guaranteed or not guaranteed? But speculating and stuff like that, and for a person to go and spend hard-earned money, and he's going to say to his wife, oh, you know what? My testosterone's going to go up. I'm going to fuck you a lot more often because this product is going to work. And then it turns out that it doesn't. Those are the things. But, there is proven, there is science, and there is speculation. And those are just the things that you have to differentiate, whether, it's going to work or not.
Okay, so my question is like, Glaxon doesn't promote Anomaly as a muscle builder. On the bottle it says muscle health. So it doesn't say muscle builder. Me and Lukasz were saying that because if you had to categorize everything into a specific category, when you looked at categories, you'd have like 50,000 to choose from.
Do you know about the guaranteed, studied, proven muscle health benefits of it?
I tried it and it worked, but if you go down that road, I'm pretty sure there aren't human studies on DMHA, Erythrogenesis, isoprop. I'm pretty sure that you haven't got studies on them either. But those are maybes as well.
Wait a second. But how are they promoted? Actually, we know that DMAA, DMHA, even caffeine, at certain, if it's abused, it's actually contrary. It's not healthy. But it's used for a specific effect to give you that energy and that boost and to feel at the gym, that drive, and it does the job. There is no need for it. It's not a healthy product. I've never seen DMHA and on a container of a pre-workout to say DMHA will make you healthier, will make your muscles healthier, will build muscle or anything like that.
No. I'm not saying they're going to help with muscle growth. I'm just saying that there are many ingredients out there that don't have human studies and are arguably maybe ingredients.
Yeah.
To your point. But this is a branded ingredient that actually has some sort of data.
Some sort of data is not human data.
Yes, but there are many ingredients out there that have no data at all, and no human data at all. But many of which pre-workouts use.
Well, yeah, but what you're mixing, I don't think you quite understand what I'm saying. If you're going to take multivitamin for health benefits, you're not necessarily going to feel it. There is a percentage value, but you're not necessarily going to feel it. DMHA or caffeine, caffeine has actually been studied, but DMHA or DMAA, in fact, I think, they possibly harmful products. What I'm saying is like people are not taking them for the effects of health or benefits. They taking them just for that kick that they will inevitably feel. They will feel it. I mean, cocaine is the same thing. Is it good for you? No, it's actually harmful for you.
No,
but you will feel it.
What I'm saying is you said that because it's maybe data that you probably shouldn't sell it or whatever. What I'm saying
they should be selling it. I'm not against it. Everybody, in fact, I'm all for research and stuff like that. But the truth is that there are certain things for health that you don't really feel or can say with with certainty that they do work. You just don't have it. But there are certain things that, especially pre-workouts or thermogenics, are they healthy? Are they beneficial? I mean, I don't know. I'll be the first one to say I don't know. But you feel that.
So you're saying that if it's an ingredient that has no human data, but it's something you can feel, it's more okay in your book than if it was to be like
it's not in my
muscle
book.
builder.
It's not in
or
my
like
book.
a recovery ingredient. I'm just saying.
You and I can walk into a supplement store, say when it opens at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., and we can have those research products that might work, like Anomaly, like things like that. I'm not saying we don't have, and we're going to be there until closing. Let's see how many people will buy that product versus how many people will buy protein, pre-workout, creatine.
It's nowhere near going to be as much because it's kind of like how you said about Ghost Glow. There's just the market for beauty from a sports nutrition brand versus the market for a pre-workout are drastically different. Like Cellucor based its entire brand around a pre-workout. No one's going to make hundreds of millions. Maybe they might, but there aren't that many who are going to do it on the beauty category. So it's obviously going to sell less. And research, muscle growth, health, they're even less. But when you said that this isn't something you would buy, and me and Lukasz both nodded, I can tell you right now, whether or not you believe me or not, I have bought Flight multiple times myself. I have bought it out of my own money. On one occasion, I waited for a sale, but that's irrelevant. I still bought it. I buy these ingredients and these products a lot of the time.
Sometimes we, even without human data, and I'll agree with you on this one, sometimes without any human data, without any proof, we buy products because we believe personally that it works for us. Is it placebo effect? I don't know. Does it actually help us? I don't know. But sometimes, yes, we will buy products that we believe that they work. Not only that, on a flip coin to that, I know guys that have used products that have been proven to work, but they claim they don't work, so they stop using them. So I've seen that. All I'm saying is that all these claims that, and this is not on Glaxon, this is actually pretty much on everyone, probably including me. I think we just have to be, not because somebody's going to sue us or anything like that. It's not because of that. I'm saying is that certain claims that we make just should be a little bit more concrete. There is a reason why you will see an ad on TV or somewhere in a magazine, and it's going to be in big fucking huge bold letters that this product provides this and this and this and this and this, and then you will see a little disclaimer that you can't even fucking read with glasses on that basically disputes everything they put in bold letters to protect themselves against lawsuits and because, it's not proven to work. I mean, those things are inevitable. But we know things that do work, that are steady in our arsenal, and we know things that might work. And it's also for a personal decision whether you believe in it, whether you believe that it works for you, and whether you're going to use it or not. That's it. That's the thing. And when I went to do blood work about 2 or 3 years ago, my cholesterol, because genetically I have pretty fucked up cholesterol, my cholesterol was 200 and something. And the first thing that the doctor said to me that he's going to put me on prescription medication, on statins. When I heard that, I was like, shit, that's not something I really want to do. So I said to him, is it possible that maybe we can do something for me not to use them? He suggested red yeast rice. He suggested garlic pills. And he suggested to me, adding a little bit more healthy fats into my diet, like avocado, unsalted nuts, and whatnot. That's exactly what I did. I told him, I said, give me a couple of months or something like that. We'll retest it, and maybe it's going to come out better. And you know what? I just had blood work a month ago. My cholesterol went down by 100 points. That's the only thing I did. I didn't exclude red meat from my diet. I didn't exclude none of those. All I did was just adding a little bit more cardio and using those products. I don't know which one contributed more. I don't know which one contributed less. I don't know if it's a combination of both. And I don't have any proof. I don't have any scientific data behind it. But because it works for me, proven based on blood work, I'm going to continue to use it.
Well, yeah, for that, you said red yeast rice?
Yes.
That's got a naturally occurring statin in it called lovastatin, or it's got a relative of lovastatin, and that's naturally occurring in red yeast rice. That's why initially it was banned for supplements or a couple years ago, or it got conflicted with the FDA. And then garlic's got a ton of research as far as improving blood flow and retooling triglyceride and HDL, LDL levels in the blood.
Yeah, but you know what? The funny thing is like when I told somebody, a friend of mine, that I'm going to take red yeast, and we discussed it. You know what? The first thing he said to me, it's shit. It doesn't do anything. And again, because it's very, very cheap, and because it's something that I just didn't want to use statins, I've used it. On the other hand, a friend of mine was told by a doctor to use DHEA. Mm-hmm. And after a couple of months, he got retested. And he goes to him, I told you to use DHEA. You didn't use it. He goes, no, doctor, I did use it. He goes, well, based on your blood work, you didn't. So he asked him, like, what was he using? He told him, he says, I suggest another brand. He switched to another brand, and boom, it works. Some people don't take any vitamin D products, and the vitamin D levels are perfect. I was told by a doctor that I was low. I was taking 2,000, nothing. I used 5,000, very little difference. Then he goes to me, he says, you know what, stay on 5,000, but on Monday and Friday, do 10,000. I've tried that, fucking worked. So we all different, so sometimes maybe there is no proven data, and fuck it, doesn't matter. But based on blood work, or based on physical appearance, or based on something, it might work for you. So I'm not saying that, don't use it just because there is no human data. I still don't know if garlic is actually effective. To be honest with you, I never read anything about it. I'll be lying if I said I did.
I couldn't good data behind it.
Yeah, you see, and I've never used fucking red yeast. Like, I didn't even read about it. I was told it's garbage, which you actually just disputed that. So you obviously did the research. But I do know, ever since using both of them, that's the only thing I did. I didn't change my diet. I didn't go off red meat. I didn't do none of that. Just those two I added, and I made sure that I do cardio every morning, kind of like Lukasz does. Like I walk, and that's the only thing. So clearly, either one of them or a combination of all of them that works. So why would I change anything, even if somebody says it doesn't work?
Agreed. Yeah.
I feel like we strayed off the topic a bit.
Tree burners. Robbie has an interesting point. How many times new people to fitness get told to take a variety of vitamins for their fitness journey and just stop taking them? Because we don't feel anything different. So why are we taking them? Yes, for our health, but unless people know if they are low in magnesium, by example, they don't need them. So technically a medical exam should be better before taking anything to get the most out of it. Pretty much so.
It's a valid point, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Which that also speaks to the point why so many companies just put beta-alanine in everything, and so you get a tangible feeling, or niacin, so you think it's working.
Well, like TJ said, we like the tingling. What else is behind it? you know?
Sridhar, out hiking with horrible reception. Wish you all a happy new year. Ask everyone to subscribe to Stacked Podcast, use notifications, and use the fat discount for making better Polish roads this year. Thank you, Sridhar. Have fun hiking, man.
Enjoy. Happy New Year.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Meep meep. Is lion's mane an ingredient you feel closely after we use it, or is it over time? There are long-term benefits to using it continually. That's where most of the studies are in giving it to either the rats that they gave it to for several days, or the one or two human studies, they gave them upwards of 3 grams of it for several days, up to a couple of weeks. Anecdotally, for me, if I take 500 to 1,000 milligrams in combination with caffeine, I get a stimulatory, like a neurostimulatory effect similar to if you take Neurofact or the coffee berry stuff in conjunction with caffeine. It kind of ramps up those proteins in the brain, nerve growth factor, that gets the neurons firing a little bit better and ramps up some other cognitive processes. So I get an experience. Maybe it's the
an
act
overtime, isn't it?
Huh? Yeah.
It is an overtime. Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, it's the fact that maybe is it the fact that I'm taking it and I know I'm getting ready to get to work, so maybe that's kind of playing into it. You get some of that placebo, but there is definitely a ramping up of the nerve growth factor going on in the brain, which is going to help heighten some cognitive processes and all that. So yes, some mild acute effects, but long term, it's more of a long term ingredient as well.
Robert, are there any proven studied, I guess, dosages, like a minimum and a maximum, or you on your own?
You're kind of on your own. There was the study that they did it in humans. They were giving them 3 grams of lion's mane a day in the form of, they were baking the powder into cookies. But there's not like here's 500 milligrams of a lion's mane extract or lion's mane fruiting body powder. There's not many of that in humans as of yet. Most of it's with animals or mechanistic data on the specific haricinones and arenacenes that are in the fun little polysaccharide bioactives that are in lion's mane.
Was there a reason they put it in a cookie?
Yeah, because it tastes like shit.
That's
it
weird.
tastes like dirt.
Yeah, it tastes
No,
like
I know, but I'm like, it's like, was it like a chocolate chip cookie, or was it just...
Your favorite cookie, bacon, and your favorite... I don't know.
I just thought it was weird as to why they were like, oh, let's put it in a cookie. Why don't we put it in a smoothie or a fucking capsule? Why are we putting it in a cookie? It seems weird.
Probably because they add like sugar to it or something.
Actually, I should be going, but I will bring up an interesting thing that we had at a New Year's party. Because there was this question about would you rather a penis for penis-sized nipples or a nipple-sized penis? Now, even though that question is very difficult to answer,
Jesus Christ.
there was a doctor there, and she said, "Oh, I've seen a micro penis before," and I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And she's like, "It's a medical thing," and I was like, I was baffled. I was like, what? Like I had heard of micro penis before. It's apparently a medical thing, like you're medically got a micro penis, or like if you're like medically depressed, clinically depressed, and all that, you can be diagnosed as having a micro penis. And the interesting part is there is in fact a maximum size or a minimum size to be classified as micro, and I looked it up. So, and Americans, of course, came up with this because it's in inches. 3 inches and 2/3 for men, 1.5 inches in boys, and 3/4 of an inch for a newborn. Which I thought was fucking weird, because who the hell's checking a newborn if they got a micro penis?
Yeah, but also like babies and boys, they grow and things can change. No.
No, but that's why the size changes. So 3/4 inch. But the most interesting part, again, this was fascinating to me, is that I was reading online and they were like, the measurement, it's not flaccid, it's not erect, it's stretched.
What?
So you have to stretch to get the measurement. It's not, and I did think about this because we were like, why don't they get it when it's like hard? And I was like, well, for starters, the doctor's not going to be like, hey man, I need to check if you've got a tiny dick. Can you get hard for me? No. So the stretched thing.
I don't think there is a blood flow into the micro penis. That's why they need to stretch.
So it's like,
because you can't go hard. You can't go hard in this area.
You must be able to. No, surely. No, you must be able to, like, it just might not be that visible.
Wait, but the question that begs to be asked right now, since you clearly did a research on this...
I went into this. It was pretty fascinating.
Is there the exact same for women?
What do you mean, like micro vagina?
Yes.
No, I think it's because they said that if you have a micro penis, there are runoff side effects similar to, like, low testosterone. So I think that, like, they came up with this because, like, if you have these effects, it'd be like, it's because you have a micro penis. But I feel like if you've got a small vagina or a big vagina, I don't think anyone's going to be like, you know.
But you said it's a medical condition, correct?
Yeah. Well, there's not a giant penis condition. I looked that up too.
Let's go to micro first. So if you said that it's a medical condition, which I think I heard that somewhere, a medical condition should be treated or cured or something. Is that something?
Not necessarily.
So it's just it's just as is.
I mean, if there was something that you could do to grow your dick, then goddamn, we're selling the wrong stuff. It'll be on stack tomorrow, but
the penis pump.
I think they'll probably just tell you just like hang a weight on it, just stretch it out more. I don't know. Either way, I thought it was fascinating that it was an actual measurement, stretched measurement.
But the stretched makes. I mean, listen, who am I to argue with science? But at the same time, stretched, it's like I don't get it.
The stretch, I think the stretch does make sense because it eliminates the for showers and growers.
Okay.
Obviously, like it, and you, what do you can't, like, the doctor can't be like, I need to check if you got a tiny dick. Can you just get hard? I'm pretty sure that probably is going to get you sued in many places. I don't know. I'm sure there will be some issues there. And I'm like, I feel like stretch does make sense. It's an odd thing. I've never thought how long it is stretched, but interesting. There's a fact for the
use
day.
that Anomaly. Take it for 1 month, and you will know it. If you will notice,
If your
something.
dick is shorter than 3 2/3 inches stretched, you would indeed have a micro penis. Medically.
If everybody of the co-hosts and those who are watching after this podcast are going to go and start measuring, that's going to
Yeah,
be really hilarious.
everyone right now is quiet and thinks I'm a
Yeah.
fucking idiot, but you're all going to go after
No,
that.
no,
You're going to go to the bathroom
I
with a ruler.
don't think you're an idiot.
You're gonna,
I
like a rubber
believe
band.
you. It's just the only thing that
Stretch it out.
surprised me was the stretch. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's what surprised me.
That's
The measurement thing I thought was interesting, but when they said, like 3 2/3 inch stretched, I was like, God damn. Stretched. I mean, to be honest, if you're going to be classified as micro dick and not micro dick, you're going to be pulling that thing like there's no tomorrow, I tell you that.
Shane. Shane, I think if suicide rate's going to go up, this is going to be on you.
What? The thing was, I thought to myself, I was like, who is going to go to the doctor and be like, look, I need to know, like, can you check it out?
Then what's the point to go to a doctor if there is no cure? Like, can you check out?
I think it's one of those things, like, if you have those, like, low test kind of, like, there were some side effects from it. So I think that if you maybe had one of those and, like, nothing wrong internally, they'd be like, oh, it's because you got a small dick. Like, apparently that does mean something. So there were, I didn't read the side effects. I was more interested in the fact that you could be clinically dosed. Sorry, not clinically dosed. Just classified as a micro penis. 3 2/3 inch.
Wait a second. Another question. Does it classify you as disabled?
I don't think so.
Can you use parking for disabled people? Like, I have a condition.
No, I don't think so. Either way,
Ben Arden.
you can all thank me later. You can
You're
all
not
thank me for bringing it
disabled.
up.
You're privileged.
You're gifted. You're gifted because I don't think many people have a penis stretched that's 3 2/3 inches. That's sorry,
You don't have
3
to
inches.
pay
2/3.
for the Lord status anymore.
Well, I don't think that. I don't think that there is any percentage when they say what percentage of the population, because I don't think they can collect this data.
No, because half of them aren't gonna tell anyone. Who
Absolutely.
the hell do you know in your life is if it like no one is no one. Oh, okay. I gotta go.
What the fuck was that?
That was my doorbell. Okay. Have a good day.
Enjoy.
Just
Bye.
have your butler answer it. Don't you have a butler?
No, I
Shouldn't
think
all
he's
lords have
gone.
a butler? All right, my man. Thank you for joining us.
That was funny.
Here we go. Ben, this
And for-
conversation has taken 180 from anecdotal verse research to supplement efficacy. Glad to be here for it. I learned so much from this. You're welcome.
You're not the only one.
Before we get back to the thrilling and engrossing topic of micropenises, I pulled up, I didn't get to talk to Shane about this. The Lion's Mane cookies, it does not say what kind of cookies they were. It just says they ate 4 Lion's Mane cookies, each containing half a gram, so they got 2 grams of Lion's Mane per day. That led to reductions in stress, depression, and anxiety after 4 weeks in women. So it's a 2-gram dose there. This study from 2019 gave individuals 0.8 grams of that, so 800 milligrams, and they took that how many times per day? Let's see, results. And this improved cognitive functions across the board for the individuals. Let me pull up the full dose. I think this is, we confirm that longer intake of HE supplements, that's Lion Mane supplements, for 12 weeks is significantly effective for the improvement of cognitive functions, especially in the mini memory examination is notable. Nothing in here about it draining libido, interestingly enough, or dropping testosterone levels. It's very interesting.
You see, that was another claim. That's exactly what I meant. The guy made it based on nothing, some like anecdotal reports, but the problem is that some, even if one, some people did believe this. That's a problem.
Yep, there's all kinds of good stuff. Let's see if I can find that dosage. See how many times they were taking it.
What is the dosage you take on a daily basis?
Anywhere between 1 and 3 grams.
You split or same time?
Nah, I usually just take it all at once. Yeah, it's just easier that way. Unless I take like a pre-workout in the morning, like I took bare knuckle this morning, and that's got 1 gram of lion's mane in it. And then tonight when I have dinner, I throw in that yogurt bowl that I was telling Lukasz about the other night, where it's Greek yogurt, scoop of protein powder, and then I throw in 2 to 3 grams of reishi mushrooms, another heaping, scoop of lion's mane, my creatine in there.
It's in a powder form?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear with me, guys. I will find this.
I also heard some people at certain dosages get headaches. Is it true?
I never have. I'm not going to discount that, but it's possible.
I mean, anything with nootropic and focus, I guess, has the potential of causing that.
Yeah. Taking 4 HE supplements in short. All participants were randomly divided into 2 groups, taking 4 HE capsules in a day, or the placebo group, 1 HE supplement containing. So they took 3,200 milligrams, 3,200 milligrams of lion's mane each day for 12 weeks. No adverse reactions reported, but improvements in cognitive function. All of them were over 50 years old. Uh, 15. Yeah. Okay. And then there is another study that assessed lion's mane mycelium to ameliorate anxiety induced by continuous sleep disturbance in vivo.
There's actually a lot on this supplement.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. Like there's going back to 2010. There's some research on it, and there's more studies coming out this year on it. All right, so this was in mice. How much did they give the mice? 150 milligrams per kilogram. So lion's mane for sleep, improving sleep disruptions, anxiety relief. So lion's mane's magical, as we've said before.
Before bedtime, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's one I take is in that big giant ass yogurt bowl right before I go to sleep. So
It's unflavored, so it doesn't change the taste?
No, it just tastes like mushrooms, powdered mushrooms.
Okay.
Dave, wanted to thank the 4 of you, well, 3 of us now, for all that you've done for the industry this past year. I've learned so much from each of you, and I appreciate your contributions on the podcast. Thanks, Dave.
We got a lord and we got a superstar on the podcast. Robert and I are just like fucking supporting guest.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Dave.
Slime angry focus, or is it after we use it, or is it over? Oh, I think when he meant, do you take it over? Take it over time. All the studies use it, multiple days in a row. But at least for me, I feel a little something now. Is that just because like I mentioned before, because I'm trying to get myself in the zone. And I think, all right, oh yeah, this is helping me.
I guess it all kind of leads also to a question that do you cycle it off or do you stay on it consistently? Like, will your body adapt it or your mind, and you won't feel the effects?
I don't look at it like that. I mean, I always kind of look at it like a multivitamin for the brain kind of thing, or something like. Same thing with Bacopa. Like I'm going to take Bacopa every day that I remember to take it. If I go on vacation, am I going to take my tub of lion's mane with me? No, and so it'll be a natural cycling off. But if I'm home, 9.9 days out of 10, I'm going to be having lion's mane there. And most of the days I take Bacopa. Every now and then I won't, but I just finished off my tub of Bacognize that I got from Nootropics Depot, and I bought a year or 2 ago. I mean, it was one of those giant ass tubs, and you only take out 300 milligrams at a time, so it's lasted me 2 years or so. So I just ordered another bottle of caps, and I got the Bacognize form, but I think I went with a different vendor this time. I think I did. I just ordered it last night from Amazon. I don't remember. But yeah. I was going to go out to the red yeast rice thing that we were talking about earlier, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Effective monocolin K. and CoQ10 supplements. So if you look up red yeast rice, they did a pretty big meta-analysis in 2015 showing that it was effective for lowering cholesterol, improving overall triglyceride profiles. And this is one of the newer studies that's come out. Let's see how much they were given. Significant reduction in blood pressure, triglycerides, total cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol, and glucose levels were observed in individuals in both treatments. So they were given a mixture of red yeast rice and CoQ10. Let's see how much they were giving them. 10 milligrams of monocolin K, which that's the active component in red yeast rice extract, and 30 milligrams of CoQ10. So for any of you looking to support cardiovascular health and energy levels during the day, there you go.
That's an actual study, and it's recent, right?
2019.
Okay.
Is that one, and then there's a bunch of they did a meta-analysis in 2015 on red yeast rice. There's another study from 2018. It says short-term supplementation of monocolin K improves lipid and metabolic patterns of hypertensive and hypocholesterolemic subjects at low cardiovascular risk. And so daily dose of 2.5 to 10 milligrams of monocolin K is well established for improving cardiovascular health, is what it's saying. So find a decent red yeast rice extract and have it get somewhere in that range of a yield of 2.5 milligrams to 10 milligrams of the monocolin K. You're good to go.
Yeah, I think that's another very important point is depends what brand you use. That also plays a huge difference. I know that question was raised recently about Berberine, where there was an argument about it, and apparently a lot of Berberine on the market is in fact junk, and you have to use a reputable source. So and we brought it up about different supplements. It's true to pretty much anything, but a reputable source, reputable brand is definitely very important.
Yeah, if your Berberine or turmeric supplement isn't like a bright yellowish orange color in the capsule, and you've got a clear capsule, and that color is not like super bright yellow orangish, you don't actually have turmeric or Berberine in your supplement. Those are some very brightly colored supplements, and if you get them on your fingers, so sometimes I've cracked open the Berberine capsule.
Yeah.
It will dye your fingers yellow for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever overdosed the curcumin, maybe?
Have I ever overdosed it? No. I've only recently started taking it on its own.
I overdosed it a few times.
Oh, no.
So my hands were like orangey.
Uh-huh.
So that's when you know that you're taking too much.
I thought you were about to say you were pooping out yellow, or like your poop turned yellow or something like that.
Nothing with poop, but only with with the coloring. The exact same thing happens when you eat too much carrots.
That's happened to me before.
Beta carotene.
Yep.
You accumulate in your and you are like fucking orangey.
My parents thought I had liver failure for a time, and this is when I wasn't drinking at all. They're like, "What's wrong with you, Robert? Your skin's all yellow."
Yeah.
Too much sweet potatoes and carrots. Simon says, Robbie, you mentioned you were following low-carb diet. Is that correct? And then also, would you be up for a 1-month carnivore challenge?
I honestly was thinking about it. It's very tempting idea for, I guess, research purposes and just kind of like a challenge. The thing is that I do follow most of the time low-carb diet, where I would have only 2-3 slices of Ezekiel toast in the morning, and the rest would be pretty much protein-based diet and fats. This is definitely very appealing. I'm not sure. I think carnivore, you are allowed to use eggs, right? Because eggs are eggs. I think eggs are very important to me. I have to have them on a daily basis. If yes, then I would definitely do it. I don't know what the rules are about condiments, like barbecue sauce or any of those. Can you use them or not? I would assume that sugar-free or calorie-free you can use. But if that's the case, I would definitely give it a go, and just for as an experiment. It's tough for a month, definitely, but I think I'd try it. I'd definitely try it.
Yeah, I don't think so you're not supposed to do any kind of if you're being super strict carnivore, you put salt on your meat, maybe black pepper, but no like Walden Farm syrups, no
Black pepper.
Equal, no Splenda, none of that shit.
Oh, really? That's strict. So, wait a second. So, when it comes to coffee or tea, you pretty much fuck too.
I mean, it depends on how strict you want to get. I think the whole purpose is like just clean the shit out of your diet, eat as much real food as possible. If you have one packet of Splenda in your coffee, I mean, are you really not being a carnivore because you had a little bit of, sucralose?
I mean, realistically, it's still calorie free. So, I know. Like I said, to me, the whole thing, because I never like got into it. Like specifically, I only saw it on Joe Rogan podcast, and I heard about it, but I didn't get into specifics, like so-called like rules and regulations.
Yeah.
But to me, now that I have the answer, since eggs are allowed, that's the main thing, because like I gotta have eggs pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah. The first 2 days.
Carnivore equals only animal-based products. So basically, you eat meat, eggs. You can also you are allowed to eat some honey as well. Those kinds of things. So yeah, it's not like super strict. You still can do a lot with it. So
Yeah.
Simon, are you about to start doing it, or you're already doing it? And if you are doing it, what do you feel like? What is your feedback? I'm kind of curious. Just
Yeah, I know that this is something I've heard before. Like, who was the guy? Sean
Baker,
Say that again?
Sean Baker.
Yeah, Sean Baker. Yeah, him, Rogan, Mark Bell. They've all done carnivore for a long time. Or Baker's been a carnivore guy.
January, so it's a carnivore month.
Yeah, but Sean Baker's been doing it for since 2018, just about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the first few days on it is there's a radical change in your gut microbiome, and it causes you to have some really explosive poops.
It depends on the person.
yeah, that's what I heard. It depends on the person, but for most part, yes, that's what I heard. But here's the thing, like when it comes to health, I'm not saying it's not healthy. It's not that. But I heard from Joe Rogan again that he did lose fat, he did feel great and all that, and he felt strong and lean and whatnot. And I would not dispute that. Very, very possible. Mm-hmm. My question is, what about after a month? How would the health issue be, like in terms of cholesterol and stuff like that? I mean, again, I didn't reduce my red meat, but this is probably red meat on a daily basis, pretty aggressive. I'm just curious about, like, would it affect the cholesterol levels and health or no?
You don't have to eat red meat.
No. I know, but the thing is, to be honest with you, I would not be able to eat like chicken that much or fish. I mean, fish, is it part of it? No, I don't think fish.
Of course.
Yeah, you could. It's an animal. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of fish unless it's like fucking sashimi or something like that. So I'm not a big fan of fish. So for me, it would be mostly chicken, bison, and beef. And lamb. I like lamb too. So that would be, but I mean, lamb and beef probably would be. Venison is fine too. Yeah, those things are fine.
Yeah.
You still get a lot of good meat, man. Because people don't get it. For example, if you will get some like chicken livers or like even the beef liver, you can eat different cuts of animal, and they're so damn good.
It's so interesting to listen to Lukasz, because he says the things that I'm kind of so used to it, because we come from the same area. Like I just had beef liver last night, and I remember talking to American friends when it comes to like liver and stuff like that, and they make faces that it's disgusting and gross. It's actually very funny, and Lukasz like says it so casually, liver and stuff, and I like that stuff.
Yeah, it's all kind of regional. Like New Orleans cuisine, they do something called dirty rice, where you take all like the chicken gizzards and giblets and all the other stuff, like all the other parts of the chicken, and you cook that down. And it's peasant food. It's like that's the kind of stuff you would grow up eating, or they would always have. I thought it was fucking disgusting when I was a little kid, but you kind of come around to it when you get older and your taste buds get a little bit more mature with things. Y'all ever had alligator? Blackened alligator?
I had alligator once. Yeah, it's good.
So good.
I never had it because it's like not popular here.
There's no gators in Poland.
I remember like I had some ostrich and kangaroo meat, and it was fucking delicious.
I never had that. I want to.
Yeah, but it's super lean, so What about horse meat? Have you ever tried it?
I did.
I would try it. I've never tried it yet, but I've tried goat before. I've tried goat kidneys, which were interesting. Chicken hearts I've had. I've had some other weird foods before. Fish heads, fish eye, like the eyeball of a fish.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's on my daily basis as far as I fit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some fun stuff.
I eat a lot of fish.
Last call for any comments, questions from the peanut gallery tuning in. Meanwhile, we interrupt this broadcast to remind you to subscribe to the Stack 3D podcast and leave Shane a quality high mark review, just not higher than the final scoop, or else we have to kick his lordship off, because if he beats us in the algorithm, he'll have hell to pay. Or we have to rename the podcast the Shane plus the Three Knuckleheads podcast and see the Stack would be beating us.
I tried snake meat once. I had snake steak or whatever. That was pretty good. I mean, I liked it a lot. I thought it tasted a little bit more like closer to beef, surprisingly. But I saw on YouTube, somebody sent me a link, and a bunch of, Russians, but it's like from a southern area, region. It wasn't a snake. I don't know what kind of snake I had. I know it was a snake, but I don't know what kind. But they were actually having a giant cobra. They actually skinned it, and I saw it on YouTube. They skinned it, and they made it in like shish kebabs.
Yeah.
And the feedback was like they liked the flavor, but they didn't like the texture of meat, because they said that it was a little bit rubbery and chewy because the cobra is so muscular and doesn't have any fat on it. It was very, very interesting to see. And the snake that I had definitely was a much smaller snake, because the steak itself was like very kind of like long and thin. And the meat,
is it a micro snake or is it normal?
Stretched. It was, and it was, the meat was literally like steak. I mean, the color and everything else. But the cobra, surprisingly, when I saw it, it looked more like chicken. The meat was very like bright, like light color.
Yeah. Fascinating. Nope, I have yet to have snake. Gator, goat. I haven't had horse.
I had bear. I tried bear meat.
I haven't tried. I've done wild boar. I've had nutria, which is another like Louisiana. It's like peasant food. Like it's an invasive species that came down from Canada and came down to like populated the woods and all of that stuff. And so it's basically open season on nutria. These giant like super sized swamp rats that infest southern Louisiana. And I had this Cajun coon ass teacher that was my fluids teacher at LSU. And he had some of the students at the end of the semester. He said, "Hey, I'm going to grill something." And we're outside at the barbecue, and he's just cooking all this meat, flipping it over on the barbecue pit, and his wife's cooking jambalaya inside. And he was like, "Here, I said, try this. And it looks like chicken or some other kind of like normal protein you'd see on the grill. And we're eating this, and we're saying, "God damn, this is really good." And he said, "Yeah, it's nutria." And you almost want to throw up because you know what those little fuckers look like and what they do. But, man, it's good. It's really good food.
Is it like very lean?
Yeah, it was very lean.
I mean, I had wild boar a few times, and I absolutely loved it. And, everybody says that it tastes like pork. To me, it didn't taste like pork. It tasted better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it more. Bear, I did not like. That was like fucking, you could break your teeth.
Oh, fuck no.
That's what these things are.
You know what this reminds me of? Robbie's dog.
Yeah, I don't know if I could eat. I mean, I pretty much would probably try anything. But was it good, Robert?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. They made it in jambalaya, and he also grilled some of it. But yeah, man, he also liked to hunt. It's a furry little fucker.
This fucker alive looks bad, but
yeah,
it would be like grilled and like,
Listen, I tried frog leg, and I loved it.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
rat bastard, man.
There's a lot in Louisiana.
Oh yeah. They've been there for a long time.
You can hunt them bitches.
Yeah, I mean they're rats. They're invasive species that go and just tear shit up.
But they're not sold like in a store or anything like that.
No, you just got to go hunt them. What I would like to do is what Branch does is get a helicopter and just get one of those like assault rifles. He goes and just mow them bitches down.
Yeah, man.
Oh man. All right, guys. Any closing thoughts before we hit the conclude button on the podcast for today?
That was a fun episode, and let's hope that 222 will be awesome for us all.
We will hit episode 100 in 21 weeks. So
God damn.
let the countdown start.
Time flies.
Yes. Thank you, my friends, for joining us. For all listeners tuning in on the live stream, thank you very much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with family and friends. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or any other podcast producing platform if you enjoy what we're doing here. If you're catching this on the replay, you got a topic of conversation you would like us to address on a future Final Scoop, send me an email at supplementengineer@gmail.com. Leave a comment down below in the comment section, or hit up Robbie, Lukasz, or Shane at their respective points of contact. And for the big, sweet
Fat.
discount, and you're interested in using Apollon Nutrition Supplement, use code Final Scoop. And remember to subscribe to the Stack 3D podcast. All right, guys. Be good. See you next time.
Happy New Year.
Final Scoop.
Much love and Happy New Year.